Yoga is classically defined as the stilling of the mind, the stilling of the thought waves, the activity of the mind. And the history of the yoga was really a history of coming to terms with how you accomplish that. Because it's not so easy to do. You can't just sit down and say, okay, mind, stop. That lasts for 10 seconds or so. And so the whole history of yoga has been a history of finding practices by which to be effective at creating this stillness, at experiencing this stillness. And often experiencing movement is an important part of creating stillness. Movement within the body, movement within the breath. As I understand it, there are three basic purposes in terms of our health from doing yoga. And they express this in terms of three energies of prana, which I say is first to bring greater integrity and wholeness to the body. Integrity in the sense that our immune system keeps out disease because the body holds itself together very well and functions very well. And the physical practice, as well as the mental and the breath practice, is to bring that feeling of wholeness, where as a person has an experience of greater wholeness and strength, it keeps out disease of all kinds. Physical disease, also mental stress or mental unhappiness, emotional unhappiness, because too many things intrude from the outside. And so, in the first sense, yoga as a physical practice brings integrity, wholeness, strength. The second thing it brings is illumination. It brings wisdom. It brings the power to digest. Just as we digest our food to turn the food into energy that we can use in the body, our mental digestion is to take in experience and turn it into wisdom that allows us to live more effectively in the world. And so yoga is a practice of greater illumination, greater wisdom, the ability to digest your life on every level. And the third purpose of the yoga practice is really movement. Because the movement of the body, the movement of the breath, the movement of the mind is part of our health and also our intelligence. The better we move, the more healthy the body is. The better the mind is able to move, the healthier the mind becomes. Paradoxically so. And so it's integrity, illumination, and movement as the basis of our health and intelligence. We're built to move. The best practice with which to start is a teacher that will give simple, clear, and specific directions about how to move the joints of the body in a way that's safe for the person, relative to their flexibility. So forms of hatha yoga that are, we say, alignment-based, which means being very specific about the form in which you do the posture and paying attention to how you're treating your joints, is the safest and the best way to start. Once the body comes into physical alignment with the possibilities for your own body, then you start to make progress. If you force the body in a ways that it's not able to move or not really built to move, then it only brings injury, and then that doesn't help you. It's not yoga. And the first question may simply be, how can I stretch my hamstrings? Or how can I make my back feel better? That's an important question. And then it leads to so many other questions that leads to deeper and deeper experiences. And I think it's important for people to understand, from where I am here and now, what's my intention for taking this yoga class? What do I want in it? What do I want from the yoga class for me? If you're clear about that, the yoga becomes 10 times as powerful, instead of just walking in because you hear everybody's doing yoga, so maybe I should too. As you watch even the yoga magazines from year to year and look at the pictures inside, every year somebody comes up with a new variation that's more fantastic and more incredible and more unbelievable than the year before it. I think it's human nature that if I can do this with my body, then how about if I do this? I always find something more flexible, more amazing, more advanced to do. And it's human nature is always to test the possibilities of the body. And when we do this, I call them party poses because they're for fun. People enjoy doing them. People get a kick out of seeing what they can do, and it increases their courage, their confidence to find there are things that they could do that they never thought they could do before. That's always very exciting to students. Are these Hatha Yoga poses? They're variations. And I think the essential benefits of Hatha Yoga come from the basic poses that you do in the early classes. And as people's flexibility increases, they try new things, but there's not an added benefit to doing one of these more so-called advanced poses over doing the basics of what really everybody can do.